Hi boys, my name is Juan Aaron and I'll be teaching you the different points of sail. First off, do any of you guys know what's a point of sail? Well, it's okay, that's why we're here. Points of sail are the angles according to the wind at which your boat is traveling. What this means? This means your boat will travel at different angles and get different speeds according to where in the wind you are. You're heading up into the wind, it's more likely you'll be, irons if you're heading directly to the wind. But if you're going in a run, then the wind is helping you and it's pushing you back from the bow of the boat upwards. Okay. Do any of you know what is it useful to know for points of sail? How can we use it as in our sailing experience? How can we benefit from it? Well, points of sail are, they will help us know which is the point and the best way to sail according to our goal. If we're trying to stop the boat because we collapsed and we're trying to get the boat up, it's important to have the boat into irons and it will prevent it from flipping over, and that's safe, that's for safety. We have a man on board. It's also sometimes recommended that you put your boat into irons to stop the boat from moving and allow your partner to come reach you and hop into the boat. There are a lot of safety ways and different safety purposes of knowing the different points of sail. Also, knowing when I'm talking to you in the water, when I'm telling you where you should be heading, it's important to know the different points of sail to, accordingly do the exercise the way I'm asking you. But there are other purposes, like racing, for example. Do any of you guys know the fastest point of sail?
No.
Well, fastest point of sail is the beam reach. The beam reach, it's a beam across the wind at a 90-degree angle. This is one of the fastest, or maybe a very fast point of sail, where your boat will be going directly in 90-degree angle in the wind. It's important to note that this is also one of the deepest points and one of the points where you want to lower your sails and have a little bit of control when the wind is very strong, usually, but when it's not that strong, it's important to know that it's one of the fastest ways you can travel through the water. It's important. One of the things you can use to remember it is that it's a beam reach. So it's a beam across the wind. It's a beam across a 90-degree angle from the wind into the boat. Also, irons is when you're heading directly into the wind. When your boat is at full-on stop, because your boat's sails are producing no drag over the wind. That's why you're not moving. But when you're going downwards into the wind, that's called a run. And it's a run, why? Because the sails are being pushed by the wind and you're going with the wind. But it's also important to know that even though many people think this is the fastest way to sail, it's not. The fastest way to sail is the beam reach. But why is it? Well, according to this, when you're going with the wind, you gotta go faster than the wind. But sometimes, while in beam reach, there are possible ways and scenarios where you can go and reach speeds that are, faster than the air. Why is this? Do any of you guys know?
No.
Okay, this is because sails work in a different way most of us think so. Okay? That's why the boat may go and reach into the irons without going into it and still be moving. That's why we can head up into the wind and continue our trajectory without stopping or being pushed by the wind into, backwards. This is why, this is because the sails work in a very unique way. It's like pretty much an air wing, a wing from one of the airplanes we all know, okay? Well, what this is the fuller the wing or the sail, the the thrust you're generating through the sails, it depends on the difference in length and how long it takes for the wind to, well, cross through the sail, and the difference of the speeds of the wind outside the sail and inside the sail. That's why when your sails are full, you go faster. And well, the fact that you are producing that difference in pressure will pull your boat forward or in a sideways direction. And it's also important to know that it's very important for you to have your dagger board at all times. This is because the dagger board will be the one that keeps your boat without tipping, and will keep your boat and balance the different forces for you to, well, move forward, actually. Do any of you guys have any questions? Okay.
No, not me.
Okay, I'm gonna go get the materials, and we're gonna draw the different points of sail. I'll be teaching you the different points of sail, but do any if you guys have any questions? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I brought here some flags. Well, I'm gonna ask someone to help me, please, and name different points of sail. Well, if you know them, with the hangout I gave you yesterday at the beginning of the class. Okay, first of all, my hand will be the boat, and this white arrow will be the point of the origin of the wind. And it's important to know that the boat will be here, moving and rotating at different angles. Okay, so anyone wants to help me to point the different points of sail? René? René? Okay, what is this point of sail?
That is into the wind.
Exactly. Or else known as irons, when you're not moving. Why do you think it's important to stay at this place? In what scenarios do you think it's important to put the boat into irons?
When you have to make a stop in case of an accident or an emergency.
Exactly. Okay, this point.
That is close hold.
Exactly. A little bit further,
Close reach.
right here.
Beam reach.
Okay, we need to mention, I already mentioned it, it's one of the fastest way you can travel through the water. And it's commonly used by racers and other, well, professional athletes to go very fast into the water.
That is broad reach
Yeah.
and running.
Running, exactly. It's important to know that running is considered, well, one of the safest way to go through the water, since there's pretty much nothing you can do except let the sails out. But it's also important to know that there's some very dangerous and, well, serious consequences in going into a run without caution. Well, one of the first one is that the boom can jibe at any second, and it will hit someone in the head very hard if not anticipated or controlled in a manner. It could also tip your boat in extreme winds. So it's important to know exactly where your wind is going and be aware of shifts in wind. It's usually more of a small lake where winds will shift in directions according to the landscape and your surroundings. But it's also very important to note that any severe change in the wind will, well, could cause your sails to move abruptly through the mast and will, well, hit you in case of an emergency. So it's very important to be aware of these consequences while you're sailing at different points of sail. So, as I was telling you, do any of you guys know any different things? Like, what is the most efficient way to go through the water if you're trying to, well, head up? Is it close reach or beam reach? What do you think, René?
Maybe close reach,
Why do you think that?
because you are facing. You're facing the wind. It could be said.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's also important to know that the closer you get into irons, the slower you're gonna be. So the closer you're into beam reach, that's the point that your boat will be the fastest. So it's a trade-off. How much do you want to close in to the wind, or how much do you want to, well, how fast do you want to go? And it's also very important that as you change through the directions, there might be different, well, jibes or tacks. So it's important to make it very safe. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, each of you, to come here and please show me the different points of sail. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I want this to be a very clear topic for everyone, and it's very important you have this clear, because these are the basics for you to, well, get ahead and start sailing, going into the water. Do any of you guys want to have any questions? No? Okay. I'm gonna be right back. Right now I want you to hang on here for a second. I'll go for the boat. Well, the little boat. I'll be right back. Okay, right now, here we have the different hangouts. Diego, can you please hang this to over?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so guys, it's very important for you to understand that this needs to be very, very clear for everyone, okay? This is a part of the lesson, and it's for your safety, for your understanding. Can someone please name me all the points of sail, please?
Irons, close hold, close reach, beam reach, broad reach, running, and I think that's all of them.
So thank you very much, Diego. A round of applause.